Hello YouTube, my name is Alexandre and I'm a student in natural science at Montmorency College in Quebec, Canada. I'm not an expert in the topic of refugees, but I just read a shocking novel called Refugee, and that's what I'm going to tell you about today. Did you know that according to a 2015 research, 24 people are forced to leave their home every minute around the world? Refugee crises mark the last centuries. Many events force people to escape their country. It could be war, poverty, famine, and there are many other reasons. The historical and geographical contexts are important to understand what refugees are truly living, and Alan Gratz showed this in his novel, where the setting has a major impact on the psychological characteristics and action of the characters, and helps the reader clearly understand the difficult life of a refugee. The three protagonists of the book, Joseph, Isabelle, and Mahmoud, are all strongly impacted by the setting of the story. I'm going to begin with Joseph, who is a Jewish boy who lives in Germany in 1938. Just as anti-Semitism is at its peak, and as Nazis are putting Jews in concentration camps. During the whole book, the young boy wants to be a man, and this need to become an adult real quick begins with Kristallnacht, a real event that took place in the night of November 9th and November 10th, 1938, as when hundreds of Jews were killed and thousands of them were sent to concentration camps. The historical and geographical contexts are forcing Joseph to be the more mature possible, and to survive the hostile environment he finds himself in, he has to be strong. And becoming a man is the first step to do. So the Bar Mitzvah, when he officially becomes a man in Jewish religion, is an important event in the story because it marks the beginning of his adult life. We can also observe the internal setting that takes place in Joseph's mind. He is shocked when he first sees his father after the concentration camp. I'm gonna quote on the book on page 36. It was him. The shabby man who had lurched from the shadows like an escape from a mental asylum was Joseph's father, Aaron Lando. So his model, the leader of his family, the strong presence in the house, the person who would always protect him and his family, is now described as a shabby man. So as the story unfolds, Joseph sees his father becoming weaker and weaker and crazier and crazier, and he has to do something about that, or else he and his family will get killed. So Joseph has to replace his father as the leader of the family, as the strong presence in the house. So that's why he wants to become a man really quick. So the context Joseph finds himself in forged him and made him evolve as the story unfolds. Enough with Joseph. Now I'm going to talk to you about Isabel, a Cuban girl who lives in Cuba after the collapse of the USSR. So the country was very poor because USSR was a very important ally, and the USSR was providing food, money, and water to Cuba to make them live happy and healthy. But now that USSR isn't there to help them, Cuba was very poor. So that forced Isabel to evolve and to become like Joseph, mature and become an adult real quick to survive. And for that, for example, she sold a trumpet, and she in kind of way she forced her family to escape the country to go to the United States and search for a better life. So Isabel was by forged as an adult by the historical and geographical context, like Joseph. And we can also see that the cultural context of Cuba, when with the importance of music, has an impact on Isabel's thoughts. Many times in the novel, she compares their journey to the USA as a song. On page 203, again Isabel thought about their journey as a song. Now I'm going to talk to you about Mahmoud, a Syrian boy that lives in Aleppo during the civil war in 2015. So the civil war in Syria is turning normal neighborhoods such as Mahmoud neighborhood in Aleppo as horrible battlefields where houses are thrown to ashes and thousands of people are killed. The city of Aleppo, where he lives, is a living nightmare, and the young boy is trying to be invisible to survive the hostile environment he is in. He has no friend, and he doesn't want to have any, and he is only 12 years old. So we see that the geographical and historical contexts are also turning Mahmoud into a man, like Joseph and Isabel. He is the one who saved his mother from drowning, and he also probably saved his baby sister, and he also helped his family a lot in the journey, just like a strong father would do. To conclude, the author forged his character based on the setting of the story to help us understand the challenge of a refugee's life. Readers of Gratz's novel Refugee should be focused by the importance of the setting of the story on the three protagonists Joseph, Isabelle, and Mahmoud, since it's forging them with the historical and geographical context. By looking for the impacts of the setting of the protagonist, the reader will fully understand the three stories and he will have a better appreciation of Gratz's story. Thank you, YouTube. Have a nice day and see you soon.